Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So one of the things we're seeing an awful lot at the moment is this beautiful synergy between Ayurvedic medicine and the Ayurvedic understanding of health promotion and disease prevention, and really quite novel advanced Western clinical research. And what we're finding is that the two are lining up perfectly in that what these ancient Ayurvedic practices are advocating are now being validated by this published peer-reviewed clinical evidence. And in today's video, I want to talk about a brilliant example of that, looking at the health benefits, the profound health benefits, particularly in regards to reducing mortality rate, the actual risk of dying from disease, of saunas or sweat therapy. Okay, so in Ayurvedic medicine, there's a type of therapy called Svedana, okay, which has been advocated, used for thousands of years in Ayurveda, and it translates conceptually as sweat therapy. Okay, it's advocated as a way to raise the body temperature, increase sweating, and that comes with a whole raft of benefits in terms of removing toxins, detoxification, um, strengthening and balancing the doshas, all of these kinds of things. Okay, but then fast forward to the 21st century, and over the last 10, 12 years, we've seen this exponential rate of research published around the impacts of sauna therapy on disease risks and longevity. Okay, and some of that research is profound to the highest level. And actually, if we contextualize that research, it makes sauna therapy one of the most predictive practices for preventing premature death. Okay, and to put that into perspective, what some of that research shows is that in individuals who use saunas regularly, okay, between 3 and 5 times a week, okay, so if we take the lower end of the spectrum, 3 times a week, yeah, that's pretty feasible. If your gym has a sauna, you can get home saunas very easily now as well. So if you're using a sauna 3 to 5 times a week, your chance of dying from cardiovascular disease is reduced by 50%. Okay, that is overwhelming. That is staggering clinical research. Okay, if we think about heart disease, cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of death in the Western world, and here's a simple, enjoyable, relaxing practice that can reduce that risk by up to 50%. That puts it in the same bracket as dietary interventions and exercise interventions. Okay, if we then broaden the perspective and move away from just cardiovascular diseases and look at all cause mortality, okay, from cancers and respiratory diseases and heart diseases and metabolic diseases, the full range of pathologically induced death, death from disease, what do we see? Okay, we see a similar story. Individuals who are using a sauna 3 to 5 times a week have a 40% lower risk of all cause mortality. Again, I haven't seen much research that outperforms that in my career. Okay, so here is a simple practice, 15 to 20 minutes a day, 3 to 5 days a week, is going to reduce your risk of dying from all of these chronic diseases by 40%. That is a huge gain for hardly any effort. Why? Okay, why is something as simple as sitting in a hot room able to induce these monumental gains in health and disease prevention? There's a few factors that are responsible. I think the main one is that the heat of the sauna, when we're in that hot environment, it very powerfully vasodilates our blood vessels. Okay, so our blood vessels get wider. What does that do? It reduces blood pressure and increases blood flow and oxygenation. Okay, and that increases, all of the delivery of nutrients and blood into all of our cells and tissues. It lowers blood pressure. Okay, it increases blood flow into the brain. It comes with all kinds of benefits. And I think that's probably predictively one of the most powerful benefits. we know that sauna therapy reduces oxidative stress. Okay, we know it reduces the impacts of oxidative damage in our cells and our DNA. Okay, that's going to have a very significant impact upon, reducing our risks of chronic diseases like cancers, like heart diseases, like Alzheimer's. Okay, and also saunas are very powerfully detoxifying. Okay, research now shows that at high levels of endogenous toxins and exogenous toxins, toxins in the body, are disruptive to our DNA. They cause cell dysfunction. We know they're linked to a whole raft of diseases, from cancers to Alzheimer's to diabetes. And sweat therapy is an incredibly effective way of speeding up the clearance of those toxins. Okay, there are lots of other benefits as well, but I've been reviewing this research over the last couple of months. And I think it makes an overwhelming claim. If we're serious about really maximizing our health, reducing our disease risk factors, optimizing our longevity, I think we should seriously be considering using a sauna regularly. In terms of optimal dosing, we're looking at ideally 3 times a week for 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, like I say, most gyms now have saunas. Home saunas are way more accessible and much cheaper than they used to be. I think if you're living with a chronic disease, I think that the significance of that in terms of a priority becomes very, very strong. Okay, if you're looking to prevent disease, I think the gains we're getting from this are incredibly powerful. So I think this is emerging research. It's fascinating research. It's one that's well worth considering, and it's one that dovetails these beautiful holistic modalities of Ayurveda with the most advanced clinical research. Okay, any questions about that, please let me know in the comments. And as I say, please do subscribe to the channel so you stay updated when these videos are released, and I will see you soon.